Mr. 21 Superboy Music Channel.
Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all participants. Today's webinar will begin in a few minutes. All participants may scan the QR code that has appeared on the screen or click the check-in link in the chat box. Please make sure your microphone is muted throughout this session. Thank you for your cooperation. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all participants. Today's webinar will begin in a few minutes. All participants may scan the QR code that has appeared on the screen or click the check-in link in the chat box. Please make sure your microphone is muted throughout this session. Thank you for your cooperation. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all participants. Today's webinar will be beginning in a few minutes. All participants must scan the QR code that has appeared on the screen or click the check-in link in the chat box. Please make sure your microphone is muted throughout this session. Thank you for your cooperation. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all participants. Today's webinar will begin in a few minutes. minutes. All participants may scan the QR code that has appeared on the screen or click the chat in links in the chat box. Please make sure your microphone is muted throughout this session. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Minasan konnichiwa, Nufa de kono webinar no shikai to moshimasu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all participants. My name is Nufa, your MC for today. I am sure everyone is curious and at the same time was so excited about the webinar's content that will be delivered in just a minute. Firstly, let me tell you that the title for today's webinar is Nihongo Subarashii. For your information, Nihongo means Japan, while Subarashii means amazing. The title itself sounds amazing, isn't it? Alright, so today's webinar will be more likely to be a sharing session related to Japan in general. And for that, we invite two amazing panel for today's webinar. First off, I would like to invite the first guest for today's webinar. I welcome Hafizuddin into the spotlight. Hafizuddin is one of us, a UKM student. Hello and welcome to the webinar, Nihongo Subarashii, Hafizuddin-san. Would Hafizuddin-san kindly tell us a bit about yourself in both English and Japanese language?
Hi. So, first of all, my voice is audible. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, my name is Wan Muhammad Hafizuddin, and currently I am third year dental student. And actually, I have learned Japanese since I'm Form 1 until now. I self-learning for Japanese, and actually I am not really fluent in Japanese, but I keep trying my best to learn because Japanese is so easy to learn. That's why I can learn by myself. And I would like to thank to my senseis. First, my first sensei is Sensei Hazril, and the second one is Ono Sensei, and the third one is Makoto Sensei. So three of them really helped me in learning Japanese. Okay, I think that's all from regarding myself. And for in Japanese, minasan konnichiwa, watashi wa Hafizuddin desu. Watashi wa san nensei no shigakusei desu. 私はトレンドから来ました。はい、それだけよろしくお願いします。
Wow, that was amazing. It is nice to meet you, and thank you, Hafizuddin-san, for the wonderful introduction. You have been learning Japanese since the 13 years old. That was such a young age, and that was amazing. Next, I would like to invite our second panel for today. This panel is originally from Japan, guys, and it's also one of our alumni. Aren't you guys curious who could our second panel be? All right, without further ado, I welcome Ms. Koru Nakajima. Hello and welcome to the webinar, Nihongo Subarashii Koru-san. All right, so Koru-san, may I ask you to kindly introduce yourself to our audience today here in English and also in Japanese?
Okay, thank you very much. May I talk in Malay instead?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, selamat malam semua. Nama saya Nakajima Kaoru. Okay, Nakajima ialah nama keluarga saya dan nama Kaoru ialah nama sendirilah. Dan sebenarnya saya belajar di UKM selama setahun pada 2016 sampai 2017. Ya, jadi saya sangat gembira sekarang sebab saya jumpa pelajar-pelajar UKM hari ini. Ya, dan hai, dan jadi saya sangat teruja juga na kongsi cerita saya nanti. Terima kasih. Hai, okay, my name is Kaoru. 私の名前は中島薫です。日本の、栃木県というところから来ました。また後で詳しく自己紹介しますが、2016年に UKM で勉強していました。今日はありがとうございます。
It is nice to meet you, Koru-san, and also thank you for the amazing introduction. We are here so glad that you are able to join for today's webinar, and your Malay introduction was amazing. All right, so next up, let's move to our highlight event for today. All right, so Hafizudin and Koru-san, in this webinar, I will ask both of you some questions. Is it all right for you guys?
Hi, it's okay.
Yes.
All right, okay. Cool. All right, so let's start with Koru-san first. All right, Koru-san, as we know that you are an alumni of University Kebangsaan Malaysia, or known as UKM.
Yeah.
So can Miss Koru share with us your experience when studying at UKM? And besides that, how do you learn and use the Malay language at here? Because your Malay is very, very amazing.
Thank you. Okay. May I just share my screen so that you can see my photos? Yeah.
Yeah,
later.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. But by the way, I will just talk a bit. But sorry, I couldn't. Sorry, I forgot to. I forgot to say something important during my introduction. Saya ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada semua kerana jemput saya sebagai speaker untuk acara Nihongo Subarashii, acara yang sangat menarik oleh UKM. Ya, dan okay, sebenarnya UKM ialah universiti yang sangat istimewa untuk saya sebab universiti UKM memberi saya kenangan yang sangat baik dan sangat banyak semasa saya belajar di UKM. Okay, baiklah. Okay, saya akan cerita based on your question. Thank you. So, okay, then as I already talked, I was in UKM from April 2016 to February 2017, so less than 1 year. Then I took Bahasa Melayu course called KIKBM, which is, Khusus Intensif Keterampilan Bahasa Melayu in Atma, Alam dan Tamadun Melayu. So in that class, one native Malaysian teacher taught Bahasa Melayu to 1 or 2 international students. So we could learn Bahasa Melayu so intensively with the teacher. Then I also could talk with teacher in Malay language, then without any afraid to make mistakes. Actually, it was very good opportunity for me. Then the KIKBM course provided us the knowledge of not only language but also like Malay culture and Islamic culture, Islamic thought, and so on. So that's why I could learn a lot of customs and the cultures of Malay people, Muslim people also in the Malay language. So I like to share some photos, so that you can see what I experienced during the course. All right. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great, great. Okay, this is the pictures of Kira KBM Atma. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, they are the Malay teachers of mine. So actually, I have Malay name also. My Malay name is Suraya. Then she gave me Suraya name. Then they are the Korean students. Then he's also Japanese student. So we could have the class with Malay teacher and also international students too. So during the activities, we could go to like attend the wedding ceremony and also some events outside UKM. So during the course, we could how to say I could get the real Malay words to describe some cultures and some like food of in Malaysia. So like asrama pengantin baru and so on. Then I was eating Thai. Then yeah, with teachers we also could go out to explore many things in Malaysia. So in then using the Malay language, I could get a lot of experiences to talk with many Malaysian people. Yeah, that is what I experienced, and also that is how I could learn Malay language in UKM. Thank you.
Wow, that was so amazing. Thank you so much, Koro. Thank you for sharing your wonderful experiences. And also I'm pretty amazed by your ability to speak the Malay language and the experience that you have here throughout your study here in UKM. It was priceless, right? All right. So next, I would like to ask Hafiz Sudinsai. Hafiz Sudinsai, if I'm not mistaken, in your introduction earlier session, you said that you learned the Japanese language when you were in secondary school, which is in Form 1, right? Which is 13 years old. So can you share some experiences when you learned the Japanese language?
Okay, before that, may I speak in Malay?
Yeah, sure.
Because we were telling the experience more, I have to speak in Malay because when I speak in Malay, the feeling akan sampai, and I hope Kaoru-san also can understand lah. Kaoru-san, marego hanashitara, kimi wa subete wakarimashita ka?
わかりたい、大丈夫だと思います。頑張ります。Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu. Okay, saya mula belajar bahasa Jepun since tingkatan 1, Form 1 dekat Sekolah Menengah Sains Hulu Terengganu. And that time, I choose Japanese because my school provide 3 languages to be learned. So, saya pilih Japanese because I can see that Japanese is too easy to learn. Sebab pilihan yang diberi masa itu adalah bahasa Arab dengan bahasa Perancis and also Japanese. Bahasa Arab dan bahasa Perancis kelemahan yang saya, bukanlah kelemahan. Macam apa yang saya tak boleh terima adalah perbezaan gender dalam grammar dia. That's why I choose Japanese for myself to learn. So bila saya discover Japanese ni, it is very easy to tackle. The grammar is too easy for me lah. And also my passion lead to the motivation for me to learn. Jadi experience for me to learn Japanese for 5 years in secondary school in Sahut, Sains Hulu Terengganu. For me sangatlah menarik sebab ada pressure yang menekan saya untuk bersemangat lebih untuk belajar lebih lagi bahasa Japanese sebab since during I form 2, my senior told me that I belajar bahasa Jepun there is nothing, macam tak ada hala tuju because learn Japanese. He said lah. Tapi I take it as a challenge for me and I can prove pada mereka that I can pergi Jepun satu hari nanti. And Alhamdulillah dengan bantuan my sensei, my pengetua, saya dapat pergi ke Jepun pada tahun 2016 secara percuma and enjoy dekat sana because they can see me and my passion in learning Japanese. So I dah buktikan I boleh and itulah macam motivation lah for myself saya boleh buktikan yang saya boleh pergi ke Jepun dengan apa yang saya belajar. So all of you, if you have passion in something, do it well, teruskan usaha, and insyaAllah you can achieve your ambition and make yourself proud. Itu satu. And then soalan tadi experience in learning Japanese. For me, experience tak ada sangat sebab I learn Japanese in Malaysia. But I involve lah dalam banyak program yang melibatkan Japanese students. Sebagai contoh, dekat sekolah berasrama penuh, we do have program inter-SPP punya program. I forgot the name, but hari kebudayaan. So one of the program for Japanese learners, dia ada hari kebudayaan bahasa Jepun. So that time I travel to many schools for the program. So masa form 1, I travel to sekolah sains alam, Sultan Alam Shah, and tahun tingkatan 2 I pergi sekolah sains tapak. So at that time kita akan jumpa real Japanese people, and at that time we can share experience, share knowledge, we can talk in Japanese, and that time we can practice ourselves to speak Japanese. Other than that, masa ni dah jauh sikit lah saya pergi, masa saya dah pergi ke Jepun, I try to speak in Japanese lah dekat airport, dekat kedai mana-mana, and my pengalaman yang paling manis and kelakar for me, at that time I rasa I dah confident to speak in Japanese well. Sampai dekat airport, I try to speak Japanese. At that time, orang dekat situ cakap too fast and I can't catch up apa yang dia cakap. Jadi, so itu bagi saya motivation untuk discover more about Japanese. Dia tak semestinya you dah belajar 5 tahun, you tahu semua benda in Japanese, you tahu semua benda macam grammar, you tahu vocabulary. Tak cukup, you have to explore more. And that time balik je Malaysia balik, I study lagi Japanese by my own sebab habis SPM I dah keluar dari sekolah, and itu dah jadi I punya semangat sendirilah untuk belajar dekat mana-mana, because at this moment memang banyak tempat kita belajar. Macam sekarang some of you dah join classes for Japanese, so you guys are so lucky because you can join classes without any payment. So benda tu free, so you can manfaatkanlah apa yang you dapat ni. So itu pengalaman yang manis lah for me. I rasa tadi ada lagi experience saya nak share tapi dah terlupa, but it's okay. I think that's all. Dah menjawab persoalan regarding to the experience. Sebab I tak banyak sangat experience, sebab I enjoy my study, very enjoy learn Japanese. So for those who do have passion to study Japanese, just go on, and yeah, Japanese is easy. That's all.
Thank you, Hafizuddin San, for sharing your amazing journey and experiences when learning the Japanese language with us. I believe the audience was amazed with your journey, and remember guys, don't stop dreaming and keep going to the passion of yours. All right, so I would like to ask both of you, Koru-san and also Hafizuddin San. Nowadays, a lot of people want to learn a new language so that they can study abroad in the country that they wish, or maybe simply watch a show without the subtitles. Somehow, I see that the Japanese language is one of the most popular languages that most people want to learn. Therefore, in your opinion, why do people want to learn the Japanese language, and how can they start learning? So I think, Koru-san, may you answer this question first?
Hi, thank you, Nurul Farhana-san. Okay, actually, this question is a bit difficult for me to answer because I haven't thought about that. But it is really great news for Japanese, for me, that many people want to learn Japanese language. Yeah, it is really great thing for me. Then, in order to answer this question, I am as you can see, native Japanese speaker. Then, but actually, I really respect those who study Japanese language because, actually, I was so surprised at that Hafizudin-san says Japanese language is quite easy. I was so shocked because even as a Japanese language is quite difficult. Yeah, to me, to another Japanese also, I think. So maybe some of you guys have feeling difficulty to learn Japanese sometimes. Then, but in my view, maybe that. And this kind of difficulty and like complexity of Japanese language sometimes attracts people to study more and more, maybe. There are a lot of phases to understand Japanese language, I think. Maybe you would learn hiragana first, then after that katakana, then after that kanji. Then, and also we have Japanese language has like, how to say, casual forms among friends, and also keigo, which is formal form also. So there are quite a lot of stages to understand Japanese more and more. So maybe who start to learn Japanese and understand one step, maybe they would like to continue to study to understand the next step, maybe hiragana, the next katakana, after the kanji, maybe. So yeah, so in my view, that would attract people to study Japanese language, even though it is sometimes difficult. Okay, then when it comes to how people can start learning Japanese, I assume that there are quite a lot of ways to start learning Japanese. Maybe some people start Japanese through watching animation, maybe then reading manga also. Then maybe other people just take the classes by lecturers. So every way is just great for me for Japanese. Then to me, how you start Japanese language is not such big deal. It doesn't matter so much. Then to me, like just how to say, start one step itself is really important. I feel. I'm not sure if BM has the same meaning pribahasa, but in Japan we have a saying that senri no michi mo ippo kara, which means in English, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So actually, I like this proverb. Yeah, meaning like even a long journey to go always starts just one step. So yeah, then we may agree that learning language is always a long journey of 1,000 miles. So yeah, that's why so how to say, to reach the far away, even one step is really important. So the way to start language is not such important. To start it is really crucial. Yeah, that is my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Koru. About that. So make the first move, guys. Okay, what about Hafizudin-san?
Yes, okay. The question just now regarding to why people want to learn Japanese, right? And also how they can start, right? Okay. In my opinion, why they want to learn Japanese? Okay. I agree to Kaoru-san. This is the question is quite difficult to answer because it is too subjective. But I try to answer lah. Okay, why people want to learn Japanese? Because based on my observation, Japanese language is quite catchy and cute to hear. Because you know, when you watch an anime, you can hear that the language very soft, very, for anime like One Piece, maybe not lah. For another anime like Doraemon, Hagemaru, the voice sounds so cute. So maybe this kind of thing can be the attractive factor for those who want to learn more about the Japanese language. To the first one, and then maybe some of people have same opinion like me that Japanese is easy to learn because the grammar is not, it's regardless to any gender. They don't have male female punya grammar rule. So maybe this factor also lead to people to learn Japanese language. That's the second one. And then okay, itu untuk soalan pertama. And then how they can start. Okay, for this question, I really like to answer because for nowadays, there are very lots of chances that you can grab for you to learn Japanese language. First of all, like everyone knows that people nowadays, like teenagers, love to watch anime. So that's the like a key point that they want to. Sometimes they are easy to catch up any phrases that have in the anime. So for me, that's a one step that actually they can go further. They can learn more about Japanese. So because myself, when I talk to my friends that watch anime, they actually can say cakap balik apa yang mereka tengok dalam anime, like sebiji apa yang ada dalam anime itulah. So for me, that's a good step for you to learn more about Japanese language. Okay, second, as you can see now, there are lots of apps or apps that we can use to learn any languages, including Japanese. So these apps actually help us to understand the language. But my advice, some apps not suitable lah, because the apps cannot talk to us directly. So my advice, if you want to learn Japanese, just go to any classes, including in the FB and also Facebook and also Instagram. As I recognize lah. Yang paling penting dalam Facebook, because in Facebook there are lots of groups and pages that you can join and learn Japanese, and the admin are so friendly. And I like Japanese because they are so friendly and they are willing to help us to learn their language. I don't know why, because when I went to Japan, they are also friendly. Because I remember at that time, masa tu tengah hujan, one Japanese person I tak kenal, dia tumpangkan saya payung untuk jalan sama-sama to go to the building, untuk berteduh lah. So for me, macam they are too friendly, and dia punya friendly tu sampai dalam social media pun dia apply. That's why when I learn Japanese with Makoto sensei, actually he is my my sensei punya senior, but kami tak pernah jumpa secara face to face. But when he teach me Japanese in the Facebook, he is very friendly. And when he introduce his friends also, his friends are too friendly that can teach me back about Japanese language. Taklah semesti language, ada juga culture and benda lain. Okay, so you can use your social media lah to learn Japanese, so that the peluang ataupun chance that you can learn Japanese by your own. For those yang ada kelebihan lagi, like you have money, so you can join any classes yang berbayar, because it is important that you can dapat sijil and you can use that certificate to apply anything you want. So for those who are willing to learn Japanese, not in only Malaysia, I think all country use JLPT, Japanese Language Proficiency Test, for those who want to learn Japanese and get the certificate. There's one yang berbayar, I rasa berbayar. JLPT is berbayar. So for those who want to learn Japanese free, joinlah any classes yang percuma dalam Facebook ada, and also Instagram pun ada banyak. And Instagram, I like the Instagram pages yang teach Japanese, because they use the language and the words that easy for us to understand. So it is up to you guys. You boleh explore sebenarnya dunia ni. Banyak benda you can belajar. Jangan limitkan you punya kelebihan, because otak manusia, it is very able to learn anything. Kita je yang limitkan diri kita sendiri. So if you want to learn, just explore and discover and make sure you achieve your ambition. you achieve your dream lah. Maksudnya you learn something tu mesti you nak something kan. So just make sure your motivation keep going, and you akan dapatlah apa yang you nak. So same goes lah if you want to learn Japanese, if you want to learn Japanese, you ambil any peluang yang ada, classes from macam yang cakap tadi, ada dekat Facebook, ada dekat Instagram, and for those yang join kelas Japanese every Monday, you are so lucky because you get the class yang free, and I think the senpai dalam tu teach you a very detailed, not a very detailed, a detail dia ajar benda yang you have to know for beginner stage. And like Kak Rusang said just now, kita ada level casual, kita ada formal, casual level, formal level, right? So yang tu for me not too hard lah. Tapi when you go deeper, dia akan susah sikit lah, because when I look at the grammar book for Japanese, dia ada yang tebal, ada yang nipis, tapi I very attract to the yang tebal one, and I look all of the grammar, and for me it is easy to catch up. Sebab all grammars actually they are same, but they can be used based on situation. So kalau you cannot use the susah one, you can use the easier one. There are so many level, but you can choose. Yang penting when you are talking to Japanese people, the message is sampai. The message can be delivered, they can understand you, you can understand them. Itu je dia punya key point when we are talking to Japanese people. You have to make sure that you know the point that you are talking about. Kalau you lost, so you lost lah. And you have to catch up balik lah apa yang bercakap dengan orang Jepun tu. So that's why I cakap Japanese is too easy to learn. I like it. Okay, sebab nanti ada soalan yang berkaitan dengan bahasa Melayu. So nanti simpan dulu jawapan tu. So for now, I rasa I boleh ulang balik. How they can start, you can use any social media like Facebook and Instagram, and also apps, and also for those who love to read, you can use books that you can buy in Malaysia ada. For me, I like to buy Japanese books in Kinokuniya, and luckily sangat bersyukur sebab I stay in KL sekarang, and I dekat dengan Kinokuniya, so my heaven is there. So I can explore the books there. Kadang-kadang I pergi just suka-suka untuk release stress. Sometimes I stress time kelas, I senyap pergi ke KLCC, so I read books in Kinokuniya for free, and sometimes we can meet Japanese people there and we can practice lah at that time. And yeah, maksudnya this world are too luas, too wide for you to discover and learn. So don't limit yourself. As long as you can discover, because discovery is so menarik. So when you want to learn Japanese, explore more. Dia punya accent, dia punya culture. Like me, previously I want to learn Kansai Bank, but bila I belajar Kansai Bank a little bit difficult, so I back to Tokyo Standard Language. Because it is too hard, not too hard, dia macam quite complicated sikit. So I back to Tokyo Standard, I macam pastikan dulu and cubalah untuk be fluent, because my aim every time I have free time, I want to go to Japan and bercuti kat sana. Not just sekali, banyak kali, because I love Japanese people. Gitu. So that's my point lah, why people want to learn Japanese and how they can start. So that's my suggestion and advice. And lagi sekali, Japanese is easy to learn. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Hafizuddin-san. That was amazing. Thank you too for Kaoru-san for your opinions on this matter. All right, so the next question is also for both of you. In the limited learning environment, there is no partner to practice speaking Japanese. Like here in Malaysia, there is no Japanese people that much. So my question is, how can beginners practice their Japanese pronunciation by themselves? What is your opinion on this subject? I would like to hear the answer from Hafizuddin-san first, and then Koru-san later.
Okay, I start first. How beginners can practice Japanese pronunciation, right? and how they can practice lah, more to practice. Okay, like I said just now, you can use FB pages because their admins are so friendly. So actually you can video call with them, not all lah, some of them are really friendly, and you can directly video call with them and have communication, and you can practice lah untuk pronunciation. That is first one, is Facebook pages and also groups. And by the way, in that group also we do have not only Malaysian, we do have orang German, we do have orang China, orang Thailand. So actually you can interchange your knowledge, interchange your culture, not only for Japanese lah. It is, like I cakap, this world is too wide to learn, so just explore. Yang pertama dekat FB pages, you can practice. The second one is from the YouTube video, because I perasan now lots of videos, educational videos for Japanese learners yang nak belajar, you can use the video to pronounce it. And I like Japanese because Japanese language because it is not too hard to pronounce any words in Japanese, because I compare dengan Mandarin. The Mandarin dia ada lenggok bahasa dia. You can, when you write in the not romaji, romaji dalam bahasa Melayu, tulisan Rumi, tulisan Rumi dia, you kan ada tengok macam ada ada like intonation punya indication tu, macam ada naik turun, mendatar, naik, semua tu. So for Japanese language, I can't see that, and you can belajar dengan senang when you watch the video. Lost kejap. Sorry, I lost kejap. Kat mana tadi?
No, it's okay.
Ada orang record video, so I lost kejap.
That part tadi you cakap, the Mandarin part tu ada.
Yes, Japanese dia ada benda tu, cuma dia tak tu tekankan. Tapi when you are talking about the same words yang hampir sama, you have to take note lah dia punya apa, intonation. Tapi regarding to intonation, it is too easy to catch up, because in Japanese when you write like that, you pronounce like that. Dia tak ada pun macam tulis macam tu, tiba-tiba I bunyi huruf M contohnya lah. Tak ada pun the changes like that. So you just tulis, apa yang tulis, itulah yang you baca. Tapi for practices, you can watch videos, educational videos from YouTube. At the same time, you can watch, teruskan tengok anime, because actually they teach you tanpa you sedar. So itulah my advice, or my suggestion lah for those who want to practice your pronunciation. You can use FB pages and groups, and also education videos in the YouTubes. And for those yang ada ke lapangan, you can go, for those who stay in KL lah, yang ada ke lapangan, you can go to Kinokuniya, because sometimes ada Japanese people there and they are so friendly. Maybe, I don't know, they are so friendly and they are easy to approach. We can communicate, sharing, and yeah, they are so friendly. So you can practice with them directly. So yang tu you have to tebalkan muka and communicate with them. Tu you punya ni lah, apa orang cakap, you punya initiative lah to approach them directly dekat Kinokuniya. Tapi janganlah buat selalu kan, setiap kali you pergi Kinokuniya semata-mata untuk bersembang kat sana. Janganlah pula, just macam seminggu sekali ke. Tapi tu my initiative lah, to go there and find Japanese people to practice myself. Because my principle, learning is a process. So anytime you go, actually you are learning. So when you go mana-mana tempat, contoh you nak belajar Japanese, so when you sampai satu tempat, you jumpa peluang, gunakan peluang tu untuk belajar. Macam like now, you contoh, you are in dental course. So when you approach senior, you tanya apa yang berkaitan. So sama je, proses belajar, you find the right people, the right person to ask, to explore, to improve yourself. Itu yang I punya cara study lah. Sebab sekarang ni I don't have any class yang spesifik untuk belajar Japanese. So I study by my own based on the basic yang I have learned previously in my school. So I would like to once again I would like to thank to my Hazre Sensei, Ono Sensei, Makoto Sensei, because they teach me Japanese very well. Until now I can speak Japanese a little bit with Japanese people, and also alhamdulillah I have chance to ajar orang lain. So alhamdulillah lah, dia macam rezeki pengetahuan yang yang diberikan tu boleh kita berkongsi pada orang lain. So alhamdulillah. So itulah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Hafizuddin Song, for your sharing. So basically, guys, so to practice your pronunciation in Japanese, go to social media like FB. Just now you said that there is video call session. That was the first time I know about it. And also don't always go to Kinikunya, guys, because Hafizuddin want to go there. Okay, alright, so next up, I would like to ask Korlu, what about you? How can someone want to practice their pronunciation when there is no partner to practice their pronunciation in Japanese language?
Okay, thank you. Actually, well, Hafizuddin-san already gave the good answers to us. Then, so actually, my answer is quite similar to him. Then, but yeah, we can listen to Japanese songs and Japanese anime all the time, I think. Then, actually, one important thing is to enjoy those things. Yeah, you can find your favorite, maybe songs, anime, film, maybe, then just enjoy those of things. Because when I started learning Bahasa Melayu in UKM, I also started finding out my favorite Bahasa Melayu songs in YouTube, and then then started to listen to those songs. Then and now I am a big fan of Fujang Band. Do you know Fujang Band? The No Saleh vocalist. Do you know that? Yeah, I really love Fujang. So I still a big fan of it. So actually, I really like their music. Actually, especially slow tempo music of Fujang Band, is quite helpful for me to catch up some Malay words. Then, so through those songs, I could get the new Malay words and the new pronunciation of the correct Malay words also. And during my stay in UKM, I also found Upin dan Ipin. I really love it. Yeah, Upin dan Ipin are so cute, right? Then their languages are of course for kids. So their languages are not such complicated. So it is really good to watch so that I can learn some basic words to communicate with Malaysian people. So I often say betul betul betul, yeah, during the conversation with Malaysian people. So yeah, that's why. And then what I want to say right now is to enjoy language is very important to keep learning. Yeah, as we already talked, studying language is a long journey, right? So the fun approach is really needed sometimes to be taken. Yeah, this is my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Korlu-san. So basically, by listening to music and watch any local movies or TV series would help a lot. All right, thank you so much, both of you, for giving your opinions and amazing explanations. So the next question is, what are the differences between Japanese and also Malay language? And for you guys, which language out of those two languages is easier to learn? So I would like Korlu-san to answer this one question first. Would you? Thank you.
Hi. Okay. Hi. Can I share the screen once again, please?
All right. Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, this is just a simple memo that we already noticed, I think. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I was preparing these pictures. Okay. Can you see right now?
Yes,
Okay.
we can see your screen.
Okay, great. Okay, the differences between B and Japanese is basically grammar, I think. I think those who learn Japanese and BM already noticed this. Okay. When we say contohnya, I like to eat the spicy nasi goreng. If in Japanese, we say 私は辛いナシゴレンを食べるのが好き. Right? Maybe you would know that. Maybe. Then if in Bahasa Melayu, saya suka makan, it is just same with English. Nasi goreng yang plus itu. Actually, this like the position of adjective is really new to Japanese. We always put the adjective before noun, but in Malay, after noun, we put the adjective. So it is really interesting difference for me. Yeah. Then actually, all right. When just now, when Hafidudin-san said was talking about the similarities of the sounds of Japanese and Malay, right? Then I also totally agree with that. Yeah, our pronunciation somehow similar, like intonation, somehow similar. So let's say in Japanese and in Malay, we don't have th, like maybe we don't have, right? Yeah. So then, so to me, Japanese people can be good at speaking Malay language too. Then most probably Malaysian people who know Malay language also can be good at pronunciation of Japanese language too. Yeah. Then, and also I totally agree with the Hafidudin-san about the no, actually you said Japanese language is cute, right? To me also, BM is really cute. Sounds so cute. Contohnya lah, when I heard the Malay language for the first time, you guys say often like besarnya, cantiknya, sedapnya, right? Then to me, nya, to Japanese, nya is like sounds of cat. Nya. So I thought like sedapnya and comelnya is like a cat. Yeah. So that's why after once I started learning Malay, I totally got fascinated by the cuteness of Malay language. Okay. And then the question was including which is easier, right? Of course, yeah, I am Japanese, so Japanese is more natural to me. But regarding in order to compose a sentence, Malay language is quite simple to me. Then and also Malay language uses Romaji, Romaji. So it is quite easier to read. Yeah, like Selamat datang ke Malaysia. But in Japanese, we need to learn hiragana, katakana, kanji for the first step. So it may be a bit difficulty for learners, I think. Okay, that's all. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Korosang, for your opinions on that. I am agree on the cute part, especially when you yourself say it in Malay. It looks like more cuter when you say it. All right, now so we want to hear the answer from Hafizudin Sang. What about you? What are the differences between these two languages, and which one for you think is easier? Even though you said just now Japanese is easier, but we want to know again.
Yeah. Actually, I love this question. Okay, difference between Japanese and Bahasa Melayu. And I still agree that Japanese is easy to learn. Because actually when I start to learn Japanese, I can see the rule that is with the rule is subject, object, and verb. So when I catch up the rule, So when I hear all Japanese people talk, I can hear that every ending of the sentences, we can hear the verb is at the end. So when we tackle that point, uh, kita akan, when we learn grammar, kita akan senang belajar because we'll keep pegang the rule, hold the rule, which is subject, object, verb. So when you construct the sentence, just follow the rule, that rule. And dia akan senang lah, macam mana nak cakap Tapi itulah rule yang I pegang from start I learn Japanese sampai sekarang. And when you communicate pun, you akan use the same rule. Compared to bahasa Melayu, when I go through the buku tata bahasa yang hijau yang tebal ni, and also the kamus Dewan tu, I rasa macam bahasa Melayu is quite complicated to learn. And orang luar, when you learn bahasa Melayu pun akan, I don't know lah, this is from my own sensei juga, dia cakap bahasa Melayu like quite tricky because selamat, contohlah selamat pagi. So when you translate in English, selamat is safe, direct translation, safe. So how, and safe we translate in Japanese, it can be different. So how we can kaitkan bahasa Melayu dan bahasa Japanese secara directly. So dia macam quite complicated lah untuk orang luar untuk belajar bahasa Melayu. Kita orang Melayu belajar bahasa Melayu macam quite easy lah kan. But for those foreigners yang belajar bahasa Melayu, dia akan tricky dekat at that part. But for Japanese, you mungkin akan susah sikit when you start to learn hiragana, katakana, and kanji. But for me, it is easy je. Sebab, you know, you have to remember yang wajib hiragana and also katakana. Kanji tu you also need to learn, but yang kanji tu macam progress lah untuk you top up day by day. You have to memorize kanji tu day by day. So when you memorize all of this, yang paling penting hiragana and also katakana, when you memorize this and you top up your vocabulary and you keep hold the rule tadi, subject, object, verb, and you match, you can speak Japanese to Japanese people. Compared to bahasa Melayu, you have to betul-betul faham dia punya struktur ayat, macam mana lagi kalau betul-betul you fokus grammar bahasa Melayu lah, sebab grammar bahasa Melayu for me too complicated. Tapi Alhamdulillah I got A+ for bahasa Melayu. Okay. Tapi grammar bahasa Melayu dia complicated sebab dia banyak benda yang for me tak berapa penting. Bukan tak berapa penting, dia macam bunga-bunga yang ditambah untuk murnikan ayat. So that's why I think bahasa Melayu, I bukan nak merendahkan bahasa Melayu, tapi I just answer this question lah, comparison Japanese and bahasa Melayu. So bahasa Melayu dia tricky part dekat dia punya ni lah, dekat bunga-bunga tu. Actually when you kita dalam daily life kita tak pakai sangat grammar, tapi but when you learn grammar, tata bahasa, you can see the difference between in this case Japanese and bahasa Melayu. Because when I go through Japanese grammar textbook, tak kisahlah mana-mana textbook yang dipakai, I can see the rule is still there, subject, object, verb, and just tambahan-tambahan partikel. Yang partikel tu pun senang kita tackle sebab partikel tu yang at the beginner level dia akan too easy, tapi when you are learning too deep, dia punya partikel tu are going jadi susah. Tapi at the end, you still, kalau you susah sangat nak pakai partikel yang susah, you can use the easier one. So that's why I cakap, I go through the Japanese textbook for grammar. They are easy to understand compared to buku tata bahasa Melayu yang terlalu, for me, quite complicated. Tapi I managed to understand bahasa Melayu, the grammar, tata bahasa Melayu, because I love my language also. And apa tadi soalan tadi? Oh, difference. I dah mention the differences, right? So yang mana lagi senang from my side, the easy one is Japanese, but the easy one is Japanese. And bahasa Melayu when for those yang belajar tata bahasa Melayu, you guys akan nampak lah apa yang susah dalam tata bahasa tu. Tapi no worries, when you have passion, you akan rasa benda tu senang. Like me, I sebenarnya ada motivation from Sultan Muhammad Al-Fatih because he able to learn lots of languages. So I take him as my idola in language. So that's why I learn lots of language yang I rasa mampu belajar. So the rule is when you start to learn languages, you have to tackle the important key. Like Japanese tadi, the important key is subject, object, verb. So you hold this rule, and when you learn, you akan rasa senang. And for the handwriting, of course lah, dia macam something new for you. And actually, it is easy je untuk belajar. Like me, I took 1 month to remember all hiragana and katakana, and because I practice the handwriting. And also kanji, I learn by stages lah, from year to year. I learn kanji. And supposedly I dah hafal beribu kanji, tapi disebabkan dah lama tak pakai, I forgot already. So, I kena study balik lah for kanji. And rasa macam dah jauh daripada topik, tapi it's okay, I like to talk. And I pun dah jawab soalan tadi regarding to the differences. And yeah, so I tak tahulah Japanese people macam mana dia rasa dia punya tata bahasa. Tapi from my side, Japanese, I go through the textbook lah, grammar textbook of Japanese, it is easy to understand compared to buku tata bahasa Melayu yang warna hijau tu. So itulah saya rasa menjawab soalan, insyaAllah.
Alright, thank you. So basically when you have passion, a lot of language and you just learn, it will be easier for you.
Yes.
Alright, so thank you again Koru-san and Hafizuddin-san for answering my question. Now I would like to ask Hafizuddin-san. Alright, so Koru-san, you can now relax a bit, maybe drink some water to quench your thirst after answering a lot of questions and be ready for the next question after Hafizuddin-san. Alright, back to Hafizuddin-san. May I ask you a question? So are there any challenges you faced when you learned Japanese in your secondary school?
Okay, challenges
Yeah.
Like I said just now, and you said just now, when you have passion, you will feel the thing that you learn is easy. Tapi challenges tu tetap ada. Okay, my first challenges, actually I ni short term memory. Short-term memory regarding to remember something. So I risau sangat to remember hiragana, katakana. Jadi that's my first impression untuk belajar Japanese, sebab I rasa I tak mampu untuk hafal hiragana, katakana, tapi the passion just now, dia lah yang mendorong kita to like motivate us to keep going to study Japanese. You know, when you are in secondary school, you have to focus for PMR, PT3 and also SPM. So you have other subjects to focus compared to Japanese, yang mana Japanese just side subject yang you have to pass. And of course lah, you akan fokus lebih kepada subjek-subjek utama. So Japanese ni like just sekadar pengisian. So some people akan rasa benda tu tak penting. That is why dia akan susah untuk belajar, untuk remember. But from my side, I anggap Japanese tu subjek utama juga. So daripada I rasa susah nak ingat, at the end I managed to remember hiragana and katakana in 1 month, including handwriting punya practices lah. Kalau just remember the bentuk of hiragana and katakana, just it took 2 weeks, 3 weeks je to remember. So that's the challenge, not challenges lah. Apa lagi challenges yang belajar Japanese For me, tak ada banyak challenges sebab the motivation is still there. So not really susah untuk belajar. Itulah, you know, when you have passion, you have motivation, you can keep learning whatever you want. Bila you ambil tu benda yang you ambil satu perkara tu remeh, that's why you akan rasa susah. You akan rasa berat untuk faham, you akan rasa berat untuk belajar. So yeah, I rasa challenges in learning Japanese in secondary school tak ada sangat. Tapi I cuba tambahkan lagi sebab kita ada lagi masa. Challenges ni pressure apabila my seniors kata that Japanese is tak penting untuk belajar sebab diorang tahu I will further my study in aliran science, not physics, because for those yang belajar Japanese in secondary school mesti dia ada fokus untuk sambung dalam engineering. But from my side, I tak fokus pun benda tu. I just fokus ambil Japanese sekadar untuk my soft skill. So when they said I learn Japanese for nothing, I just make it twist balik jadi benda tu positif, and I ada aim untuk buktikan pada mereka. So at the end I went to Japan and I say to them I dah proof yang I tak belajar for nothing. And alhamdulillah until now I can share Japanese lesson to other people. So satu lagi I punya prinsip, kita belajar not for something lah, not for exam, not for benda-benda yang duniawi. Kita belajar for ourselves. We learn for ourselves to go further. So ambil tu sebagai motivation for you to learn, not just only Japanese lah. Anything you learn, make it just aim to yourself. You want to be somebody. You want to be seseorang for yourself. So in that way, you akan rasa challenges tu tak akan ada sangat. Actually, you akan enjoy in your study, you can enjoy in anything you do. So for me, challenges tak ada sangat. Because I enjoy all of my studies. Itu je.
Alright, thank you so much. So basically, the challenges you can face it when you have the motivation to make it, right? Okay, thank you so much, Hafizuddin-san, for the wonderful explanation of your sharing session just now. Now, I welcome Koro-san once again. Is she there?
Hi.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, so this question is more to Japanese culture. So I think that Kaoru-san is more suitable for this question. I actually wonder if there is any spicy Japanese food recommended, because as a Malaysian myself, I can't feel the spiciness of the majority of Japanese food. So is there any spicy food, spicy Japanese food actually?
All right. It is really important question for you guys, Malaysian guys. I really know that Malaysian people really love spicy food. Then I also get used to spicy food in Malaysia. Then I also, this time also I would like to show my screen. Yeah. All right.
Okay, sure. Wait up.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah. As you said, basically Japan does not have such many spicy food. Yes, really. Compared with Malaysia and also compared with Korean food, I think. But yes, I have recommendation for you for tonight. Okay, maybe I'm not sure how many people already know this seasoning. Okay, this is shichimi and ichimi. Actually, this is more to Japanese seasoning. This is like this, Japanese chili flakes, chili powder. So in Japan, we just put this shichimi or ichimi into like soba, udon, Japanese noodles, and any Japanese dishes actually. So yeah, when we would like to make the dish more spicy, we just put the shichimi and ichimi in seasoning. Yes. So yeah, speaking of this name of this product, shichi, yeah, you may know shichi is 7, right? Then mi is actually meaning taste. So shichimi is literally 7 ingredients. I don't remember what are the 7 ingredients, but like of course red chili and gingers and sesame and so on. So those kind of things are like become chili, flakes. So this is shichimi. Then on the other hand, ichimi is just only one chili, red chili, because ichi is one, right? So yes, so this is this is the what we have in Japan to make the dishes more spicy. Then in terms of the products using shichimi and ichimi, I would like to introduce those snacks. Yeah, then actually you can easily, I think maybe like in Isetan or somewhere, shichimi or ichimi is available anywhere. Basically, this kind of bottle is, yeah, just like this. But when you would like to taste the snack using ichimi and shichimi, of course, we have in Japan. These products are from Kyoto in Japan. I think you know Kyoto. Actually, I have worked in Kyoto for 3 years just before coming to Malaysia for working. So yeah, then Kyoto is really amazing city, one of the most historical places. Then yeah, Kyoto has this kind of product. Okay, this is curry rice crackers, but using shichimi seasoning. Then this is like peanut rice crackers, yeah, using shichimi seasoning. So you can easily taste the shichimi and ichimi taste with this kind of snacks. So yeah, as I said, Japan doesn't have so much spicy food, but we still have choice to make it spicier. Yes, that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Koru-san. I believe sashimi and ichimi, the audience will definitely go for that after hearing this from you, because the only spicy thing that we know is wasabi.
Wasabi. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for the recommendation. All right. So last but not least, I would like to ask Koru-san and Hafizudin-san to give the final word to our audience here tonight before we end this segment. So can we start with Hafizudin-san first? Your final word, please.
Hai. Final words Okay. Actually, I dah ingat balik apa yang nak cakap for the second question just now. I buka balik. I rasa dah ingat how they can start. Okay, I just nak top up a little bit lah regarding to this. For those yang suka tengok anime, yang suka tengok cerita Japanese, so tu one step yang bagus lah for you to learn Japanese. But for those yang memang tak suka tengok anime like me, so you can start to learn Japanese by reading books. Books yang simple-simple lah, yang ada romaji ataupun dalam bahasa Melayu kita panggil Rumi, yang ada tulisan Rumi, you can start using that kind of book. You can find it Kinokuniya, macam promote Kinokuniya tapi it's okay. You can find the books there, so you can start to learn Japanese using books or using readings like me. Sebab I start belajar Japanese using guna buku, tak tengok sangat anime. Sebab I don't like anime. I punya memang tak tengok sangat anime. Bukan tak tengok sangat, memang tak tengok anime. So I start to learn Japanese using books, and of course when yang belajar dalam secondary school, you have textbooks yang ajar Japanese. So textbook pun sangat senang untuk faham. So apatah lagi buku-buku yang di luar sana yang lagi pelbagai. So just explore yang betul-betul nak belajar bahasa Jepun. Actually banyak sangat sumber-sumber that we can find in Malaysia to learn Japanese. Okay, for my last words, apa yang nak cakap? And apa nak cakap, for those yang ada minat, yang ada passion, yang nak belajar bahasa Jepun, you can start dari sekarang, because when you have this kind of skill, maksudnya you have a third language that you can learn, actually you can ajar orang lain, and actually you can involve lah dalam any organisation, like organisation yang memerlukan translator. So you can start from now, you can learn from now sikit dengan sikit, and for those yang join kelas Japanese tu, manfaatkan betul-betul your peluang untuk belajar banyak lagi. And ya, rasa yang betul-betul ada minat teruskan. Yang rasa Japanese susah, no, tukar balik your mindset, tukar. Japanese is easy to learn. Kalau nak ada tips lagi, you can approach me to learn Japanese, because now I create my own buku, educational purpose lah, untuk for those yang nak belajar bahasa Jepun. I try to simplify everything to make sure for those yang nak belajar bahasa Jepun, you can see that Japanese is easy to learn. So I cuba create that kind of book, and for those yang ada Instagram memang ramai ada. Follow Pink Japanese, sebab kat situ I cuba update from time to time regarding to Japanese learning punya notes. Tapi untuk masa sekarang I quite busy, so tak sempat nak upload sangat. But I try my best to spread the knowledge regarding to Japanese lesson. Yang mana Japanese, I ulang banyak kali, is easy to learn. Tapi memang betul, sangat senang. So, gunakan peluang yang ada. Yang rasa Jepun ni susah, tukarkan mindset. Yang dah start belajar, teruskan. Yang dah belajar, tiba-tiba rasa susah, cari balik motivation for you to keep going study. And insyaAllah, akan datang you can utilize your knowledge untuk apa-apa yang you minat. Contohnya, you nak pergi Jepun, you can use your knowledge to talk to them, to share experience, to share knowledge dengan orang Jepun kat sana. So gunakan kelebihan yang ada untuk to be somebody, to go somewhere else yang you nak, Jepun lah in this case. So I tak limitkan untuk belajar bahasa Jepun lah. For those yang ada any minat, teruskan minat tu and keep going belajar, and mindset ke dalam diri kita. Anything yang kita belajar tu sebenarnya benda tu menarik, and banyaknya explore anything you nak explore. Jangan limitkan you punya otak, jangan limitkan you punya kelebihan, sebab every person you have your own ability, you have your own kelebihan, so gunakan, jangan limitkan diri masing-masing. Itu saja, I rasa that's all from me. Yeah. And kalau ada soalan nanti ke bolehlah tanya. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Hafizuddin-san, for your final bit of advice. What about Koru-san? Would you like to give a few final words before we end this segment?
Okay, alright. Terima kasih banyak kerana mendengar cerita saya. Yeah, I actually had so much fun today. I could get inspired from Hafizuddin-san also. Yeah, I need to change my mind. Japanese is difficult. Yes, into Japanese is quite easy. Okay, then actually I'm really proud of you guys the UCAM students. Yes, I was studying in UCAM, so I really like UCAM environment. Then I also love students in UCAM. Then those you guys who would like to keep studying Japanese or would like to start Japanese, I really happy to know you, see you tonight. I forgot to introduce myself again. Actually, right now I am working in Embassy of Japan in Malaysia, Kedutaan Jepun di Malaysia. So jadi saya sekarang tinggal di KL juga. Then so my work is really the good communication, good friendship to promote good friendship between Malaysia and Japan. So tonight I am really happy to deliver something to you, then connect with you guys outside UCAM again. Then my final message is actually a bit like a job thing because I'm working in Embassy of Japan. All right. Actually, next year, so which means soon, soon, 1 week later, in 1 week, 2022, it's the 40th anniversary of Lucas policy. So Lucas, I'm not sure you guys know Lucas policy, but it was started in Malaysia in 1982, 40 years ago. So since then, many students from Malaysia went to Japan to study Japanese and study something in Japan, then came back to Malaysia and they contributed so much into Malaysia and also Japanese society. So next year, 2022, it's the best memorable year for you guys and for Japanese too. So I really hope that we can collaborate in some ways, yeah, to make our friendship like Japanese and Malaysian further developed. Yeah, so it is my true hope recently. So I'm really grateful for you to invite me to this such a wonderful event. Thank you very much for tonight.
Thank you, Koru-san, for your wonderful final words before we end this segment interaction session. Before that, I want to welcome Mr. Hafiz Russell from UKM Global for helping me getting a Japanese panel, which is Corona Kajima. Thank you so much, sir. You're helping us a lot, and we are here tonight having fun with this sharing session here. Thank you so much, Mr. Hafiz. Do you want to add something? You want to say something you want to say here? Sir, your microphone, sir. We cannot see you. You did not open your microphone, Mr. Hafiz.
Hi, Kaoru-san, konbanwa.
Konbanwa.
O genki desu ka?
Genki desu.
Hai, okay. Did you bercakap Melayu dengan dia?
Sudah banyak.
Okay,
Sudah banyak.
alright. So, Kaoru, terima kasih for joining this event. Thank you for accepting, my reach out to you. It's been wonderful that you are here with all the students from KTSN. They are the Students Association. I know that when you were here in 2016, 2017, you're also part of the college students. But I think if I'm not mistaken, you are in Engku Omar or in Ibu Zain.
Sabah. Ibu Zain kan Sabah, dua-dua.
Okay. So, yeah, tonight I'm not really dressed like because I have an event. Even I didn't, because we have something on earlier. But I'm so happy that you are here, and we are going to invite you to another international event that we'll be organizing at UKM Global. That will be next year, and of course, I have been informed that I should be inviting you, and I didn't know that I have you, Naoki, and also I have Sakatan. You know Sakatan? I'm not sure whether you met. But I think if you know Pirapol, right? Satakan is Pirapol's friend. They are both from Thailand. So, so Satakan is working here at Mid Valley. She's yeah. So that's why I'm like so happy all these exchanges, coming here to work in Malaysia. And I know you have been visiting Malaysia, even though you're not working here in Malaysia, but you have been coming to Malaysia, meet all your family here, like your adopted family, and you always keep your name Kaoru Suraya, which I really appreciate that, you are part of Malaysia now, and half of your body is here, half your body in Japan. And I hope you will continue staying here. We do appreciate your culture, Japan, and Japanese culture. And I know you really love our culture here. The food, you always post it in the Facebook, in the Instagram. I always follow you when I know that you are there. You know, like wow, you are enjoying your
Yeah.
time here, and yeah, hope that you will stay longer here in Malaysia and get to know more people here. And yeah, and what more shall I say? I want to say thank you so much for giving my students a chance to meet you, to get to know you, and hopefully they also have a chance to go to Japan. Inspire them to go to Japan as well. We have inspired you to come to Malaysia, so you have to inspire my students to go to Japan,
Yes.
because we have to see like a comparison. There's always a uniqueness in every society, in every culture. So that's what we appreciate, and we respect each other as well. You know, like in the 1980s, we used to have this look east policy. So I think we'll continue doing that even until now. And we know we are in Asia, we have to be Asians. And being Asian, we have also develop together, irrespective of whether we are different in political ideology, business-wise, our color of skin, our the language, the use of others, linguistic, how we use it. We are all different in that way, and we're still learning from you. Like I know a bit of Japanese, and you know a bit of Malay. So that's it from me. I think I speak too long. Thank you, Nur Farhana. Thank you, Hafizuddin. So Hafiz and Hafiz, but lucky you are Hafizuddin. You're not Hafiz Rasul.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming by.
Thank you. Yeah, I have to stop by, and I want to say hi to Karu.
Sama-sama. Thank
you
you.
so
Terima
much.
kasih.
Yeah, Karu. Okay.
It
And
feels like a reunion now. It feels like a reunion.
yeah, because Karu, she didn't show you guys that she dance cultural dance.
Yeah,
I
you
have the
should-
video, but I'm not going to show it.
You should share with us.
Yeah, you know that she learned cultural dance. We only
Yeah,
learned
I did.
about 1 week.
Yeah, that's
1
what's
week.
tough. That's
Yeah,
what's tough.
and I think it was really, really awesome. And I think those group of students, the batch, the Kazakhstan, the Korean
They are
students,
good.
the Japanese students, they are so like together.
Yeah, that
I
was
love
fun.
it so much. Yeah, even until now, we have wonderful exchanges.
Mm.
So that's what I want. Nur Farhana, Cynthia, Zana, all those. Like now, I have Hanan, Rafika, Izzat. I don't know who else. They are all my student buddies, and I want them to really experience this internationalization. Is very, very useful for them. Right now, yes, it's pandemic, but pandemic will always be there. This virus is going to be there with us for a long time. Yeah. All right. Back to you, Nur Farhana, Hafizuddin.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hafiz Rasul. Thank you so much for coming by. All right, now we will be moving on to the Q&A session. I am sure some of you have questions in the mind after hearing the sharing session that we held just now. So don't be shy, guys. This is the time to ask. Koro-san here. Anyone who wants to ask questions may open the microphone or simply write the questions in the chat box. I will read out for you. All right, so there is a question earlier from Fatimah Toibah. I think Ms. Koru, you can answer this question. How do you overcome the barrier of communication when speaking too fast? I think this one is more suitable for Hafizuddin-san to answer, because the question is like this: how do you overcome the barrier of communication when speaking to fast-talking Japanese people, or do you naturally will overcome it? Hafizuddin-san, do you have any words to say?
Sorry, can you repeat again the question?
All right. Okay. So the question is, wait. I think. Okay. So, the question from Fatima. She asked, how do you overcome the barrier of communication when speaking to fast-talking Japanese people, or do you naturally will overcome it?
Okay, awal-awal, first thing first, pada awalnya, at the beginning, it is quite difficult lah because I ni pemalu. So when I first approached Japanese people in 2014 tak silapnya dekat Sains Tapah, Sekolah Menengah Sains Tapah. So at that time, I try lah to, macam kita dah belajar the all theories yang apa, grammar macam ni, the vocabulary macam ni. So at that time macam practical session to speak to Japanese people. So at the first moment, memang kita akan rasa macam it's quite difficult to deliver our speech, but trust me, they are really happy when we speak in Japanese because we speak their language. So when we have kesalahan, dia akan betulkan on the spot. And dia memang betul-betul akan tolong kita untuk faham and belajar. So itulah macam itulah macam the first step, kita communicate dengan Japanese people and they are willing to help us. Even though we are stranger at the first place, tapi they are willing to help us. So jangan malu, jangan segan. You luahkan apa yang you belajar on the paper. So luahkan apa yang you belajar dekat when you face the real Japanese people. So jangan risau, mereka tak akan ketawakan kita. Okay, my experience in Japan, masa tu dah memang kita nak bawa kita punya teori pembelajaran ke Japan, nak speak to real Japanese people in real Japan. So time tu memang rasa nervous lah kan. Tapi once I open my mouth and speak in Japanese, they are really happy and they become friendly to us. And kita secara automatically akan hilang rasa nervous, akan rasa macam they are our friend and kita akan bercakap seperti macam biasa. Tak ada rasa apa, segan, tak ada rasa takut sebab once kita tunjuk yang kita boleh, dia akan cakap dengan kita and kalau kita ada salah pun dia akan cuba betulkan tanpa rasa segan silu. And dia automatically akan jadi kawan on the spot when I kat Japan dulu. So, yeah. Menjawab soalan ke?
Yes, menjawab. It is. Thank you so much, Hafizuddin-san, for your answer. So basically, a Japanese will never make fun of your mispronounce or whatsoever. You just try your best to keep learning, keep practicing the pronunciation of Japanese. Thank you so much, Hafizuddin-san. So right now, I think the next question is more suitable for Koru-san to answer.
Hi.
All right, so this question is from Won-ki. He said that, Konnichiwa, Koru-san. I would like to ask, do you have any misconceptions about Malaysia previously? How do you think about Malaysia and the reality after you experience yourself?
Okay. It was first time for me to come to Malaysia. It was in 2016. So actually before that, to be honest, I didn't know anything about Malaysia. I was reading books, but just only the information of books. Like it said, Malaysia is the multi-cultural, multi-linguistic, religious countries. So actually that was attracted me so much. Then I started so much. Actually, I didn't have any, misconceptions in terms of that. But then I already know a lot about this society. really, how to say, I'm getting to find that Malaysia is quite nice, how to say, good country to explore to many other countries. I don't know if my explanation is good enough, but Japan is one island, you know. Then Japan is really Japan lah. Japanese people are many in one country. Then we just speak Japanese language, so it seems unique for foreigners, I think. But Malaysia is really mixed. Then here, actually, when we are here, we can go anywhere to Asian, of course, ASEAN countries, of course, Japan, we can go, Korea, we can go, we can, of course, go to China, then we can just go to Indonesia, then after that, Australia, then we can go to Europe, because here has the strong connection to Europe, UK especially, right? So here, yeah, Malaysia is that country that allow us to go anywhere. Then you can speak English also. Then you have strong connection with China also, because there are Chinese Malaysian. So then also Indian Malaysian too. So this world in Malaysia is very wider than Japan, to be honest. Yeah, it is the reality from my side.
Wow, that was amazing answer from you, Koru-san.
Yeah.
All right, so the next question from Alia Suraya. Wow,
Okay.
same name as you, Koru Suraya.
Okay.
All right, so hi, I am Alia. I want to ask regarding to taboo in Japanese culture. Is there any something interesting?
Do you know anything, Hafizudin-san? Do you know some taboos in Japan?
I have no idea.
Okay, okay,
I will
okay.
hear from you.
Taboo. It is quite common that in Japan we really hesitate to call in train and bus in the public transportation. Yeah, our voice is quite disturbing to others, so we really hesitate to be noisy in front of others. Yeah, it is one of the taboo. Yeah, of course, it is not, how to say. Yeah, it's kind of taboo. And also, so actually Japan is quite strict manner country to me too. Yeah, do you, yeah, how to say? Is that enough? If I find something, I can update you.
All right, so basically that's quite hard for you to give answer, because maybe there is none, maybe there is less, or maybe there is none taboo in Japanese culture that you can think of. So thank you so much for answering that. All right, so the next question, I think Hafizudin Song will answer this question. This is from Wenling. The question is, may I have some websites or online platform, etc., introduced for Japanese learning and communities? May I ask if how do we reach out to ask questions regarding career or studies in Japan? I think there is two questions, but okay, you ask the first question first, Hafizudin-san. May I have some websites or online platform, etc., introduced for Japanese learning and communities? So is there any?
Actually, I do have my own reference I use, which is the Japanese 101, if I'm not mistaken. So that's my reference to learn Japanese. At the same time, online platform, like I said just now, I use Instagram also, because there are lots of Japanese account, Japanese pages yang ajar Japanese in the simple way. And also, for if you want to learn from the beginning, you can also follow my page, Instagram page, Pink Japanese, because I start from the beginning also. And for the website I said just now, Japanese 101, 101, sorry. So that's my reference to learn Japanese. Other than that, I don't have any, because mostly I use textbooks and buku cerita in Japanese to learn Japanese grammar, and also to improve my vocabulary. Yeah, that's all.
All right, thank you so much for answering that question. I think there is a question from the same person. This person asked, may I ask if how do we reach out to ask questions regarding career or studies in Japan? Or maybe Sir Hafiz want to add for this question because you are related to UKM Global. Mr. Hafiz, I think your microphone is muted.
So what's the question?
The question is, how do we reach out to ask questions regarding career or studies in Japan? Do these questions related to UKM Global or not? We just want to make sure.
How do
Students in UKM reach out? How can they reach out to ask questions regarding career or studies in Japan?
Oh, okay. Okay. This is specifically like asking if how they want to ask questions to go and further their education in Japan, is it? Okay. In
Yes,
UKM,
yes.
yeah, actually, UKM Global, we only promote exchange program. So if any of KTSN students who wants to go abroad to Japan or anywhere else around the world, but it has to be a partner university, you can always, reach out to UKM Global. And say, for example, like if you feel like you want to go to Japan, I'm not sure, like Kaoru, I think she's from Osaka. Are you from Osaka?
Actually, no, I'm from Tochigi Prefecture.
Tokyo. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, like in Tokyo, we have Sophia University, we have Tokyo University of Foreign Studies, we have Tokyo Metropolitan University. Those are our partner university. But if you want to go out a bit of Tokyo, there is a Tsukuba University in Ibaraki Prefecture, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have Ibaraki University. And then, of course, we have our partner like Kyoto University, Osaka University, Soka, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So there are few universities, and Fukui. And of course, there's so many like Gakuin something university as well. You have to reach out to UKM Global, and also at the same time, for students who wish to go abroad to Japan, you can ask there's a department in your faculty that's arranged that. Not say arrange, I mean like I have the information like where in Japan is a partner of maybe faculty of health science or like pharmacy, optometry or dentistry, is there any partner university that has been engaging with FSK or any faculty in KL, so can find out from them. They that's that section. I think is international. Mungkin there's a section there. Kalau dulu dia panggil hajib, hal ehwal jaringan. That's the name of the section. Maybe now it is hal ehwal jaringan and penjanaan. Maybe you can find out from your faculty and then ask them like, does the faculty has a partner in partner university in Japan or not? Yeah, and then from there, then you can come to us and say that you want to go for your exchange there. So bila you all ask to, then we will we will advise how to go about in applying. Usually, the university will send us an email say that they open up application for exchange, maybe 2022 or 2023. So we will disseminate the information, and students can apply through the system. So before they apply, they need to be nominated. They need to be nominated by the faculty first. So faculty akan nominate. The nomination will go to UKM Global. UKM Global will send to the respective university, and then the university will ask them to fill up the application form online. Once they accepted your application, then you ask for the finance. There will be a financial assistance for students going for exchange. Yeah, so it's a financial assistance. Is enough for you to buy a flight ticket, maybe to pay a bit of your accommodation, because you don't have to pay for your fees because it's already paid. It's waived, you know. And the only thing that you need to spare money is to travel in Japan. Maybe you want to go to Mount Fuji. Maybe you want to go to, you know, all the temples, very exciting places in Japan. They are very culturally rich, especially when you go to Tokyo. You know, Tokyo, Hokkaido, all these places, they're a lot of interesting places to see. And, you know, this is what Hafizuddin mentioned earlier. This is not something that I have to say in front of Kaoru. This is what I experienced myself when I was in Japan. If you lost a way in Japan, not everyone in Japan can speak English, but they will speak to you in Japanese. You can speak to them in English. If you lost your way, they will take you to the place that you want to go. Even though they are not going to that place, they will take you there. Once you reach the place, then only they akan balik. They go back. Even that is not the road that the person is going to. Dia nak balik rumah ke, you know, or they want to go somewhere. No, they will take you there to the place. So that's how it is in Japan. And then if you go to any station, it's a train station, whether you're going inside the lift, it's always you have to queue, not rushing into the train. Japan is always like that. It's always people are very humble and follow. That's the thing that, you know, we want you guys to see is different. It's also the same thing if you go to Taiwan. They also duplicate that kind of system, the culture, the Japanese culture in Taiwan. Yeah, but you know, anyway, Japan is much more interesting than going to Taiwan. I love going to Japan. Yeah, so the only thing is that Japan, yeah, is expensive. Yes, it is expensive. But it is not difficult to find food. You can find, but you know, when you're not, you know, when you travel, when you study abroad, I think it's similar like Kaoru. When she comes here, she have never the first time she do not know about the food here, but she's willing to try. So once you go to Japan, yeah, because there's a lot of Japanese restaurant here in Malaysia. You can just go in there. But when you're there, it's different because the food are different from here. But the thing is that you can go to like, you know, like the convenience store, like the Family Mart, you know, like Aeon. You know, like Aeon, I tell you, Aeon in Japan is like the 7-Eleven. It's not like the big store here in Malaysia. It's the store is like 7-Eleven. If you ask Kaoru, is it true or not? It's that size. It's not the huge department store like Aeon, you know. So it's different. Yeah, even like Sogo and all that, it's not huge. Tapi dia dekat sini is huge, you know. So that is something that you need to learn when you travel abroad. And when you travel abroad, do not make as a food is like your number one. because you have to make use of like, oh, I just need to try this. I just need to try that. But don't make it like an issue like, oh, I cannot eat, so I don't want to go. Not that. Because you have to always feel that when you go abroad, it's about you experiencing the culture. It's about you wanting to know about the new stuff. This is something when you come back, you will be a storyteller, that you akan bercerita tentang your experience. If you don't believe me, you ask Kauru. When you travel abroad, when you come back, you become a storyteller. You nak cerita, you want to tell your experience when you go abroad. It's not you. This is where you become a different from people who has not traveled abroad. It's different. So that is my way of saying, open up your mind, go beyond your comfort zone. Don't stay in your, once you stay put, meaning to say you don't want to change, but you need to change. As a student, you are going to be a global citizen. You are going to explore the world. Don't tell me you're going to be in Malaysia. You have to think about going somewhere. Kalau katalah, if you don't find a job here in Malaysia, you need to find job somewhere else. So where are you going to find a job? And knowing that Malaysia is part of ASEAN. So ASEAN is already have an ASEAN committee. So 2016, we already have already become ASEAN committee. So you can travel to any other country in ASEAN to work. You can work in Myanmar. You can work in Vietnam. You can work in Laos, in Thailand, in Singapore. But you need to have that extra thing. What is the extra thing? That is the experience that you have traveled or you have been interacting with people outside your comfort zone. Okay tak?
Okay sangat, sir. Okay sangat. Thank you so much for heading up a sharing session at this segment. Thank you so much, sir, for answering the question earlier about our studies abroad in Japan. Thank you so much.
True, thank you. And you need to always think that if there's a will, there's always a way. Never think of something that anything is obstacle for you to move forward. Nothing is an obstacle. Because like, say for example, right now, we are in the pandemic. When you are in the pandemic, we always say pandemic is an obstacle. So what are you doing now with Kauru and Hafizuddin? You are able to get in touch with them, even though it is online, even though you are doing this. This is part of internationalization. You still can move forward. So don't make it as an excuse that you cannot be internationalized. You can. So this is what we call going local, going local. That's why they always say like, go global, go local, or something like that, So this is what it is. So don't be afraid. Even when I was abroad too, I also go alone. And you know why? When I was there in US, I also like regret myself. Why am I here? I want to go home. But then thinking about it, like, it's a chance for me to prove who I am. It's a chance for me to challenge myself. This is yourself. This is you guys, young people. Challenge yourself. Challenge. Jangan withdraw. You need to challenge yourself. Memang is always difficult at first. And you know that any obstacles, any failure is your success for the future. That's what it is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for everything. You give a lot, and we couldn't much say thanks to you because we don't know how to say thank you to you. All right, so move on to the Q&A session. I think there is a question for Koru-san again. So Kora-san from Chang Weng, I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. The question is like, may I know, do you learn Mandarin or any other language other than Bahasa Melayu after came to Malaysia?
Okay. I actually, to be honest, no, not yet. But I was learning Chinese during my university in Tokyo, but I already forgot. Like I just know, how to say, 我教中岛生 or something like that. But so I really want to try it again because, yeah, Chinese is also important language in this society. Yeah. Then maybe no, Farhana-san missed one question. That's before, like, yeah, Japanese people is that they do a lot of overtime.
Oh, all right. Okay, sure. We
Sorry.
skipped that question, but you want to answer that question? All right, sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
of
so we're
course.
back at the question
Sorry.
from uh Zi Shun Lim. Hi, my image of Japanese people is that they do a lot of overtime. Why is there so much overtime?
It is quite important question. And then how to say, yes, Japanese people do a lot of overtime. Sometimes, I mean, some people in some companies, yes, do. But on the other hand, then the reason is that maybe, yeah, as already Hafiz-san says, yeah, Japanese people take care of others' feelings so much, sometimes too much. That's why they hesitate to say, okay, I want to go home. Yes, to both. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to say those things to both and the other people. That's why they hesitate, then they just keep in the desk, in the companies, then yeah, something like that. So sometimes Japanese people take care of others' feelings too much. That's why those kind of bad effect happens. Yeah, some people in some companies are struggling to be, how to say, straightforward to other people in the companies. Yes, that's why. But recently, the companies also get how to say evolved because yeah, we need to be improved a lot. So some companies don't allow employees to overtime such a lot. So recently, that kind of situation is getting better and better. Yeah.
I see. There was so much good info. You are answering the question. Thank you so much, Koru. The next question I think is for Koru too, because I believe you got like a lot of fans tonight. Every people want to ask you questions. Okay, again, the question for Koru. Hi Koru-san. Can I ask, do you have any favorite Malaysian food, or what is your feeling when you first try Malaysian food when you start study at UKM? Is there any?
I have a lot of Malaysian food, but I really love to go to Mama restaurant because they are like a heaven of food, right? Like they have nasi goreng, of course, then roti canai, teh tarik, and yeah, so mie goreng, magi goreng. So there are a lot of food in Mama. So I always often go to Mama. Then actually, of course, when I just arrived at Malaysia, yeah, of course, the food is very different from Japan. Yeah, Malaysian food is sometimes quite sweet and sometimes quite oily, but that is what I like right now. But before of course, and also the looks also different from Japanese dishes. So when I tried for the first time, I felt like, what is that, right? So I remember that I was quite stressed a bit to try every new dish for the first time. But after like second time, third time, I get used to those food. Then yeah, as you can see, I totally fell in love to Malaysian food. Yes.
All right, mama for life, guys. Thank you so much for that. Okay, the last question for Koru-san too. I'm sorry, Hafizuddin, for not asking you to answer the question because seems like there is a lot of fans here for Koru. All right, so the last question here. Hi, Koru-san. Can you recommend some good Japanese novel that you like? I read the book The Tale of Genji and find it quite interesting.
Okay, actually, Tale of Genji is the novel that the Japanese students in high school also learn in schools. So the novel is quite, of course, so historical and also, great novel for Japanese too. Then my recommendation is the author is Dazai Osamu. Some may know Dazai Osamu. He was born in era of Taisho, like 100 years ago. Yeah, more than 100 years ago. So his novel is a bit crazy, but I like that. Then he is really famous in Japan too. So yeah, if you are interested in some crazy but interesting Japanese word, you can try Dazai Osamu word. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the novel recommendation. I believe the audience will get the book instantly after this webinar ends. All right, so before we move to the next session, I want to compliment for your attire tonight, Miss Koru. It's such a beautiful, is that baju kurung?
Yes, baju kurung.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful. All right, so okay, now we are toward the end of today's event. How time flies, guys. We thought a lot. We have discussed a lot in this webinar. So everyone, now it's time for us to take pictures together to commemorate today's webinar. Everyone may open the camera and don't forget to smile. I shall pass this to the technical team. Zikri, please take a good picture of us.
Okay, I will give everyone a few seconds to get ready and open their camera. And for those who didn't yet open the camera, can please do so.
All right, guys, come on, open your camera, guys. You want to frame this up to our KTSN.
Don't miss this chance to take a picture with Miss Karu. All right, looks like that's all. Okay, everyone ready? In the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you.
All right. If you want to see those pictures, don't forget to follow our Instagram account, cherry_blossomfest. All right. So now marks the end of today's event. Thank you, everyone, for spending your precious time to join today's webinar. Thank you so much, our panel for today, Hafizuddin Sang, Koru Sang, and Mr. Hafiz from UKN Global. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you guys punya presence here. So this event will be, I want to thank the audience too for supporting this event. This event will be impossible without the support from all of you. Thank you again, everyone. the word thank you couldn't be enough to describe how much thankful we are from the team. So if there is any fault and disrespects in words and actions from me, I humbly apologize from my side. Before we end this meeting, don't forget to visit our official Instagram account. Again, I'm promoting our Instagram account, so you guys can check out other challenges in this Instagram account that we are currently ongoing. You guys can check out at cherry_blossom_fest to follow up more about Japan's fun facts and challenges that we are currently doing. So last but not least, everyone may scan the QR code on the screen or click the checkout link in the chat box before leaving this meeting. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. And also don't forget to join our closing ceremony on the 30th December, which is next week. I wish to see all of you in the same time here in next week. Okay, so everyone, it's hard to say this, but everyone, may you dismiss this meeting. Good evening and have a good rest. Minasan, arigatou gozaimasu. Jamata!
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu, Kaoru-san.
Arigatou. Oyasumi nasai.
Oyasumi nasai. Bye.
Okay, so I think double stop sharing and then our webinar is officially end tonight. Okay, give a clap.